What up with everybody? It's your boy MC Inspired Black Superman, Mr. Health and Wealth, and I'm back like I never left. Now, some of you guys know I took a little hiatus from social media, and guess what? It was a great experience, and I'm going to share today why taking a break and fasting and reading and improvement was one of the best decisions I can make in the beginning of 2022. I'm going to tell you 5 things of what I learned from my break. Let's go. So like I said, I'm going to give you 5 things that are very beneficial from taking a break, from fasting, from praying, to really look deep inside myself and finding myself again. So let's start with number 1. Number 1 is I was able to get back to reality. Here's something I heard Kevin Hart say recently that really caught my attention. He said that now, today, when people are on social media, they're starting to really think this is how the world really works, right? They're looking at the clickbait and the politicians and, what's going on with viruses and all these things going on, and they're starting to really think this is how the world works. And the reality is, they're completely wrong. It's like they're getting detached from their thoughts, their beliefs, their motivations, who they really are, and they're starting to look at these different people on social media and look at what's going on and think that's reality, and that's totally messed up. I can tell you from experience, I was that person to where, yes, I would wake up in the morning, I would check my text message, check my emails, and then guess what? Sometimes I would look at Instagram, and the first thing that you see is, oh, somebody died, oh, somebody was shot and killed, oh, somebody's cheating on their spouse, oh, negative, 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 and I'm literally dumping all that into my mind first thoughts, where I should just be waking up like I started to do and just listen to motivational music, listen to motivational videos, listen to gospel music, right? Instead of doing that, man, I even found myself before the fast, before the break, literally just getting on Instagram and just getting a whole big dump of negativity on myself. And I'm just like, oh my God, why am I doing this to myself? Now, don't get me wrong. There are good things on social media. There are positive people. There are motivators. There are good things. But let me tell you something. You can make a post. You can put something on Instagram. You can put something on Facebook and let one person say something negative in that comment section. Now, every post isn't going to get to you, but guess what? There will be those times where somebody will say something negative, and then it'll kind of get in your spirit, and you'll start to think, why does this person say this? Is this really who I am? Do people feel this way about me? And then you go out in the world, and you might see a group of people talking, and guess what? You're assuming that they're talking about you, so you're pissed off when they ain't even worried about you. But again, that's what starts to happen when you start to get involved in this fake social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat world, and you start to lose touch with reality. Well, guess what? After taking a break, after really finding myself being separated, deleting it, deactivating, man, I was able to find myself in the Word. I was able to find myself in books. I was able to find myself with building other new mentor relationships, sitting down with individuals, sitting down with like-minded individuals, sitting down with a spiritual mentor, sitting down with another brother of mine who can hold me accountable in my journey as I start to focus more in 2022. And as I separated from social media, as I stopped looking and scrolling and trying to feed and get those dopamine hits from just scrolling and looking at other people's posts, guess what I was able to do? I was able to find myself in books. I was able to find myself in different speakers. I was able to find myself in the Word. And let me tell you something, one of the best books that I could have ever read during my break was called The Richest Man That Ever Lived, The Story of King Solomon by Stephen K. Scott. I actually sat and studied this book. I didn't just read it to read it. I actually am studying it, highlighting and applying the things that I'm reading. I'm literally going from page to page and looking at the words and saying, how can I apply this to my life? How can I really study this and put this in my business, put this in my relationships, build my finances? And I started really studying the Word. I started reading Proverbs every single day, working on my spirit, working on how I think about certain things and how I handle certain situations. So that time that I was using on social media and getting caught in that fake fictitious world, guess what? I took that away and I said, how can I refine myself in learning and growing and developing? Benefit number 2, guess what I had to do? I had to start cutting the fat. Let me tell you something. We can go back to a little bit of lesson 1. Lesson 1, you have that virtual world of social media where you're connected to people all over this country, right? The crazy thing is I have relationships with people in other countries or other states, even in California, who I've never met. But on social media, it's like we're best friends, right? And so we motivate each other. We talk about, each other's kids. We pump each other up. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But guess what? I never really had true relationships with a lot of those people on Instagram, on Facebook, or YouTube. We would just have like a nice virtual relationship that wasn't really a tight bond. And so when I actually separated from that Instagram, or I separated from that Facebook, I separated from that Snapchat, guess what I realized? That people you thought you communicated with every day, you separate from that social media bond, they ain't thinking about you. They ain't talking to you. They ain't motivating you. Now, my real ones, they were texting me like, yo, Mark, what's good? I haven't seen you. I haven't heard from you. I haven't seen your videos. I need that Monday message, right? They text me, they call me. Those are the real ones. But the reality is there's a lot of people who may be pumping you up on Instagram or pumping you up on Facebook who are just pumping you up just to get the likes or for you to share their content, but they ain't really riding for you. And I'm telling you, if you're going to get to where you really want to go in 2022, you're going to have to cut the fat. I'm not the one to be like, oh, fake friends and haters. And yet I'm not that person. I'm just saying that you got to build a team of people, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Keep it tight, keep the circle close and intact, and you got to find those people who are really riding with you. And those people who are really riding with you, they're going to be ones texting you, calling you, offering you books, you offering them books, inviting them to conferences. They're going to invite you to conferences. They're going to tell you about their experiences, how they've grown, how they development. You're going to be able to share details with your life. You're going to find an accountability partner who's going to tell you when you're tripping. You're going to find a spiritual mentor who's going to tell you passages, and he's going to uplift your spirit and keep you close to Christ. But the people who aren't doing that on a daily basis, who only call you when they need money or when they need your time, when they need your services at a discount, guess what? You're going to have to cut those people out. You're going to have to cut out those people who only reach out to you when they want something or it's going to benefit them. You're going to have to cut the fat. And I realized that there's a lot of people who I talk to, again, on different platforms or just in passing, who weren't even hitting me up when they couldn't see me, when they couldn't have that automatic access to me. Guess what? They weren't reaching out to me. They weren't talking to me. They weren't uplifting me. They weren't offering me lunch. They weren't the ones reaching out asking how I was doing. So I said, you know what? As I move on into this year and into my life, you got to cut the fat. You got to cut the people who are just leeches, or you got to cut the people who just hang on because they know that they can get something from you when they want it. You got to cut those people out. So I realized that some of my true writers, some of my true friends who I built my relationship with as I began to study the word, as I began to develop as a person, as my business started to grow, those are the ones who stayed with me, whether I was on social media or not, or whether I was doing something or I wasn't. They were the ones who were really writing for me. So you know what? There was a lot of people who I just snip out of my life. And guess what? Man, my spirit has been so free. Benefit number 3. I got a lot of alone time. I got time to myself where I dedicated to reading the word. I got time to myself, like I said, where I dedicated to just pray, where I dedicated to just read books. I dedicated, again, to just have peace and quiet, where I'm not staring at a screen, or I'm not watching a movie, or I'm not doing something I have no business doing. During the fasting time, during the social media break time, during the time of finding myself and building my relationship with God, guess what? I had to really find myself, and I had to really break down my goals and my dreams for this year. I had to really break down my goals and my dreams in the next 3 to 5 years, in the next 10 years. I had that alone time. And I had to realize that if you really want to make 2022 one of the best years of your life, you're going to have to finish what you started. You're really going to have to give everything that you got into your business, into your relationships, into building a strong relationship with your kids. You're gonna have to finish what you started. So anytime you start a new project, Mark, you gotta finish it. Anytime you start a new book, you gotta finish it. Anytime you tell yourself you're gonna work out for the whole week, guess what you gotta do? You gotta work out for the whole week. Anything that you do, you gotta finish what you start. And there were some things in my life where I started it here, but I didn't quite complete it. Or I started here and I didn't quite complete it. But in this time of just fasting and praying, I looked at those things and I'm just checking them off one by one. Boom, finish that. Boom, finish that. Boom, finish that. Boom, finish that. Boom, I talked to this person. Boom, I called this person. Boom, I rebuilt this relationship. Boom, I got another person who I'm coaching, a mentor. Boom, my business is growing. Boom, I got another license. Everything that I said I was gonna do in 2019, 2020, 2021 that I didn't finish, man, in those 30 days, I just started checking them off. Why? Because I became intentional about finishing what I started. And I still got a couple of things left to go, but just that momentum of just having that freedom, having that peace of not always having to post content or not always wasting 2-3 hours a day just scrolling and looking at stuff that I had no business looking at. I know y'all do it. Guess what? I use that time to really plan and just finish what I started. If I said in the day, I'm gonna make 50 phone calls, I'm gonna talk to 10 people, I'm gonna run 3 appointments, guess what I did? That's exactly what I did. I ran my business, I made the phone calls, I exercised, I ate healthy, and I did everything that I said I was gonna do every single day. And then I had somebody holding me accountable when I didn't reach those goals. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna make up for that. I'm going to finish what I started. I'm gonna keep my goals in mind, I'm gonna keep my dreams in mind, and I'm gonna keep getting better every single day. The number 4 benefit is that I really got better at using my time throughout the day. It was really creepy because I'm like, when you think about it, me, you, everyone watching this video, guess what we all have in common? We all have the same 24 hours every single day, right? And you think about it, you think about the rich man and you think about the poor man. The rich man has what? 24 hours in a day. And the poor man, guess what, has 24 hours a day. The rich man, he maximizes every single minute of his day. The poor man, guess what he does? He works his 9 to 5. He's very chill. He's very relaxed about his schedule. He knows when he's gonna eat. He knows when he's gonna take his break. He knows when he's gonna get off. He knows whether, if he's gonna go exercise or not. He thinks to himself, man, every day I got nothing but time. I got 24 hours to chill, to kick back. My dreams are gonna be there tomorrow. My dreams are gonna be there in 6 months. Don't worry, I can wait. Well, guess what? The man who's urgent, the rich man, the busy man is like, man, I gotta maximize every single minute. Like the hours I sleep, the time I exercise, when I make phone calls, when I run appointments, traffic, like he's maximizing every single moment. When I read, when I study, when I pray, he's maximizing every single minute. He's doing a productive activity every single minute. It gets to the point to where literally I know that I'm getting to the office at 8 a.m. every single day, and I'm maximizing every single minute, every single appointment, every single training. And then by the time it's 10, 11 o'clock, I know, boom, it's time to switch your brain from work mode, business mode. Now it's time to study. Now it's time to read the word of God. Now it's time to pray. Now it's time to really find yourself, find where you can improve in your day. So before you go to bed, you can let go of all the stuff that you've been thinking about every single day, relax your mind, and prepare for the next day. But I really learned how to really maximize my time. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you that I've always been good with that. There were some days where I felt like I did a lot, and I would look back and be like, dang, I did not get anything done that day. And then there were some days where I was just on it. But on this fast and during this break, just being separate from distractions of multimedia and again, making posts and looking at people's stories, I find out one thing, that I have a lot of time in my day. And if I maximize on every single moment, I can get a lot done. Just like going to bed at 9, 10, 11 o'clock, waking up at 5, 6 a.m. I'm up almost 3-4 hours before a lot of people, getting a lot done, maximizing my time. So that was a beautiful part about that process, was I learned how to maximize my time. Because again, I wasn't spending 2, 3, 4, 5 hours trying to post content, scrolling, looking at DMs. I wasn't doing none of that stuff. What was I doing? I was literally using every minute of my day to do something productive. And number 5, one of the most important things I learned is that I had to continuously reinvent myself. And here's what I mean. I've had this conversation with people, in the ministry. I've had this conversation with people in PHP. I've even had this conversation with people in the fitness world. And one thing that you always have to do is reinvent yourself. You cannot get comfortable with who you are. You cannot say, well, this version of me is what got me to here, and it's also going to cause me to level up and become the next version of myself. No, what you did to get to where you're at now, great, congratulations. But if you want to get to the next level, you're going to have to reinvent yourself. You're going to have to do a different task. You're gonna have to work a little bit harder. You're gonna have to read an extra book. You're gonna have to attend an extra conference. You're gonna have to take extra appointments. You're gonna have to get other accountability partners or other mentors who are gonna help you elevate. You're going to have to reinvent yourself. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're gonna have to have those uncomfortable conversations. You're gonna have to be self-accountable. You're gonna have to self-assess. I'm just telling you what you're gonna have to do, because if you get comfortable and you stay where you're at and you say, well, this is what got me here and it's gonna get me to the next level, I'm telling you, you're wrong. Take it from somebody who had to learn how to reinvent themselves. Take it from somebody who had to learn to self-assess. Take it from someone who had to sit and listen to people tell me of all the things I need to improve on. I'm telling you, you're going to have to reinvent yourself, because if you don't and you're in a high position, guess what's gonna happen? The person who's hungry, they're gonna pass you. The person who wants it more than you, they're gonna pass it you, because they're gonna understand that I have to improve every single day. I have to reinvent myself. I have to continue to read. I have to continue to exercise. I have to continue to eat healthy. I have to continue to train my body, my mind, my body, my soul, and my spirit. I have to continue to grow and develop. It's like Patrick Bet-David always says, if you want to become number one in your team, in your business, in your career, whatever it is, you have to do 4 things. You literally have to outwork, you have to out-improve, you have to out-strategize, and you have to outlast. He says that you gotta outwork, you gotta out-improve, you gotta out-strategize, and you gotta outlast your opponent. You gotta outlast the guy next to you who wants it just as bad as you do. So I'm telling you guys, what that takes is you have to continuously reinvent yourself. You have to continuously grow. You have to literally get better at being yourself every single day, because if you don't, you're gonna get comfortable and you're not gonna grow. You're gonna stay at the same income, you're gonna stay at the same identity, you're gonna stay in that same mindset, and you're never gonna grow. I'm just telling you, this experience getting closer to God has allowed me to move a lot of me, I out the way and insert more Christ. And when I did that, I saw my mindset grow. I saw my business grow. I saw my leadership skills grow. I saw how I was talking and training with my son grow. I saw a lot of changes in myself, my spirit. I saw myself getting less angry at times. I saw myself having a more calm. Even my son pointed out, he said, we were just riding in the car and he was like, Dad, like, you just seem so much more happier. He's like, what is it? And I started talking to him and he was like, Dad, like, you just seem happier. And at that moment I said, thank you, Lord. I needed that. Thank you for that revelation. Thank you for just giving me that piece of peace. Thank you for allowing my son to see that I'm growing, that I'm transforming, and that I'm improving. So I would tell you guys, you can take those 5 things, you can do whatever you may with them. I'm just telling you, I strongly encourage you, if you are somebody who's active on social media and you are somebody who gets attached to their phone, I'm telling you, give it a shot. You can do 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, however long you need. Take a break from social media. Take a break from being sucked into that world and really just get to know yourself. Get to know Christ. Like I said, read more, study more, pray more, meditate, whatever you got to do. Spend more time with nature. I'm just telling you, it was a huge benefit to really pray, to really fast, and just separate yourself from that world. And again, if you do it, I want to hear your feedback. I want you to post your videos. I want you to tell me more about your experiences. I want you to tag me in it, because I want to hear how it's changed your life, because it definitely changed mine. So that's your boy. If you are not following me on Instagram, if you are not following me on Facebook, YouTube, Mark Cooks Inspires, I'm telling you guys, you better start following me, because I'm about to bring y'all some hot fire. And it's going to keep coming, because I'm ready to go and I'm ready to be number one in the speaking industry and PHP and financial services and everything. I'm coming for the top. And guess what? It's all going to be led by Jesus Christ. So you guys have a wonderful week. Man, I'm excited to be back. You guys check me out and take care. God bless.